What's happening, guys? It's J&L Car Reviews. We are back like we said we would be. Today is going to be a video about how much I have spent on this car within the last 3 months.
First, I want to apologise for the last video. The audio was shocking and we know it. We are sorting it out at the moment. We have to buy a connector for the GoPro and then buy a mic.
So, where should we start? Right, okay, so I got this car in September 2018. I let my Vauxhall Astra go, which was a very reliable car for me for 2 years. It was very reliable. I had one problem, and that was the gearbox. But my AA company did actually deal with that. All I had to pay was a £35 excess fee, which isn't too bad. So moving on to this car, I picked it up from, where was it now? I can't remember the area, but it was about a 2.5 hour drive. But I actually went down there on the train that day after work. Went down there, on my way there, the guy said to me that, oh, he's taking it to the valet people, and at the screen they've smashed it. So he said, yeah, come down and you try to drop a bit of a price on it. So I went down there now, and this car, it was beautiful, you know. The minute I saw it, I fell in love with it, but there was a few problems. The left side LED light that I've got on this, because it's just 204 model, a few of the bulbs was out, so that was a bit of a setback for me. So I had to sort that out. But I got this car for 1,700, right? And I sold my Astra for about 1,500. So I spent £300 on this car. But obviously he did get it a bit cheaper because the MOT was running out, the LED light, the sat nav. And actually, this is a big thing. This was the first car I bought, even though it's my second car. It's the first car I bought without service history. And to me, that was a bit of a problem. I was contemplating a lot with this. With no car, with no service history, I had no proof of anything that had been done to the car, which was a worry for me. All I had was services. So you can check online to see, you know, HPI check, and you can see when it was last MOT'd and that. But to get my service history, I couldn't find that.
Can I just ask, you wasn't originally planning to buy this exact car, was you? You was going to buy the 3 Series, but it wasn't this one, was it?
No, I had a look at the 318 convertible.
And what happened with that? Because when I first saw this car, I wasn't expecting this.
No, yeah, I did look at the 318 CI, which was a convertible, but I wanted something more powerful, man.
Okay. Like, what litre are they?
1.8. And I didn't want a 1.8. Okay. From a 1.6, I wanted to have a little bit of a jump.
Yeah.
You know, I was actually contemplating the 330, but the money difference from the 325 to the 330, you know, for what, a 0.1 of 2 of a second off, it wasn't really worth it, 0 to 60 stats. So, but that was that, you know, and I drove it back with no service history, you know, took me about 20 minutes to decide on that, but I drove it back, 2 hour drive, and the car was fine. No problem at all, no fault codes, absolutely nothing, right? My insurance ran out 2 weeks later, so the car was sitting outside my house. I was cleaning it, trying to look after it and that. And now I thought, you know what? When I got my Astra, I done a service straight away. So I thought, with this, I want to service it, because at least I know I've serviced it. So then, when you kind of do a service, it kind of then shows up if there's any faults. So I've done the service.
So the service sheet there? This
is the service sheet from BMW, which I picked up to get the parts actually, and I got a 6-cylinder oil filter, which cost me £9.40.
That's not too bad.
That's not too bad. Spark plugs. This car is obviously straight 6, so you need 6 spark plugs, which was £64.80.
Can we just say that's a nice Bentley in front? It's convertible.
Yeah, it's moving on. So
why
that was spark
plugs. Why are you hating on the Bentley?
Next was an air filter, which cost me £20.17.
Still not too bad.
Right, E46s are common for rocker cover gaskets. If you're looking to buy E46, please look out for the rocker cover gasket. The rocker cover gaskets go on these cars so easily, and they are so common on the E46. So I went out and bought that as well, which was £36.90. Again, not too bad. This car then holds 7.5 litres of oil, but obviously you can't really get half bottles of oil, so I had to buy 8 litres of bottle. So 8 litres of oil, which cost me £72.87.
That was expensive.
Yes, and the last thing I bought is a crankcase ventilation valve. So when I did take the car out after 2 weeks, it showed a engine management light. I got the AA to come out, they done a check on it, and it showed that the exhaust system, the fumes wasn't always coming out all the time, so it was kind of blocking all the fumes, which means I was losing petrol. Rather than the petrol coming out and going back into the tank, it was just coming out straight away, so I was losing a lot of petrol. So that crankcase ventilation valve came to £39.76.
But I suppose that still would have been worth it either way.
Well, that came to a total of £243.90, and then with VAT, £292.68.
Pretty cheap.
Is
it cheap?
Is it? I don't know about that, but so I got this car serviced, yes, and then sadly things started going wrong for me after that, you know.
Oh.
Yeah, tell me about it. I took it, obviously, at these times with the AA, the way it works is when you change your vehicle, you have to wait 2 weeks until the cover goes over. So I didn't do it when I was meant to do it, so I messed up, right? So I didn't actually take all the parts to either a BMW specialist or a garage like Halfords or Quick Fit. I just took it to a little dealership. Bear in mind, I've taken my old car there before and there was no problems, right? So I took all them parts to him and he done all them, right? I was pleased, I was happy. And then 2 weeks later, the engine management light comes on and I'm thinking to myself, oh, I've just done everything there, what's this about now? Tell me why the next light that come on was the crankcase ventilation valve, which he said he'd done, which it states here, and we will show you. So I done that, and I thought, you know what, now I'm not going back to him, you know, but I went back to him again.
Why would you do that?
I don't know, but when I did go to him, this is what I done. I got from Euro Car Parts, it was a viscous, right? So where the fan is, which cools down the engine, the viscous is the middle part, and then the fan clips onto the outside to cool down the engine. So my car overheated, right? Smoke started coming from the engine compartment. I was panicking, the needles in red flashing, and I thought I had blown the head gasket. And if the head gasket had blown, I would have cried, because it probably would have costed me about £2 to get that done. But thankfully BMW have a system where you got a expansion pipe, so rather than it breaking the head gasket or blowing the head gasket, the expansion pipe actually saved the head gasket. I'm actually grateful for it doing that. So it did save that, and I thought, okay, cool, I'll buy the viscous fan. I bought the viscous fan, but bear in mind this was still within the 2 weeks, so I couldn't even go to the AA. So this is why I had to kind of go back to this guy, which I made a mistake. I'm an idiot for that. But it was £60 from Euro Car Parts, right? The viscous. I took it to him. He done the viscous. He put the fan on. I went on holiday the week later, right? So my old man drove my car.
You went to Egypt, didn't you?
Yeah, I went to Egypt for a week, and my old man drove my car. No problem with it at all, he said. I come back a week later. I'm driving home from work, and the car started shaking crazy. So I called the AA. The AA came out. The guy had a look at it and said it's the engine mount. Cool. Took my car to Halfords now. Halfords have done their diagnostics, blah blah blah. Because bear in time, this was after the 2 weeks, so I can actually use the AA now. Halfords has done the check and said no, it's not the engine mount. It's the viscous fan that the guy messed up on. So picture this, right? So I leave my car there. The next morning now, Halfords have called me to say they're about to drive the car into the garage to get it done. So they drove the car in, and the fan, so the viscous is the middle bit, right, which is the metal, and we'll show you, I'll go outside and show you on the car, and the fan is what goes on the outside. Alright, so here is the housing, right? So that's where it was broke up, snap up. So you change that, and if you look down here, put the camera there, you see the silver, yes, that silver disc is the viscous. So that's what the guy put on correctly. But this fan here that spins around, don't know if you can see it, but it spins around like that to cool it down. He put that on backwards, which meant it was hitting on the engine here like that, and then it was causing the car to shake like that. The whole engine was just shaking like that, and then all that snapped off, then the radiator started leaking, and madness. But that's a straight 6 though. Round. I don't know how on earth
you got a job there.
I'm asking myself the same question. I don't know how he managed to do that, but he did it, you know. And that opened up a whole can of worms, because after that, now listen to this. This is when it goes all pear-shaped. The blades where the fan is connected was snapping off, right? So that was knocking against the engine, making the engine to shake. So it wasn't the engine mount, but where Halfords now have opened up the bonnet to start working on it, the fan has flipped off and gone into the radiator and has broke the radiator housing, and that has just opened up a whole nother ball game. So I left it with Halfords now, and Halfords came back to me with this, which is a horrible amount to look at. They said to me the condition of the radiator was red, so that means it had to be changed urgently. The coolant change was amber, which means I could have got away with it, but what's the point? And then renewing the cooling fan and shroud, so again that was red, so it had to be done. And they gave me a price of a radiator for £250 34 pence, but that wasn't it. The coolant change was £37, and renewing the cooling fan and shroud was £191 50. Ready for this?
Let's hear it.
£455 and 85 pence.
Damn! So we've just added up the total, and it's come to 948.
Fine. I'm going
52 pence. Okay, but I've just pointed out to Lylle, he hasn't actually noticed this until now because I've showed him. When he did get one of the parts done at
Halfords.
Was it Halfords? I don't think it was Halfords.
No, it was Halfords. Yeah, that invoice is Halfords.
Halfords were kind enough to give Lylle a discount. So that's why the maths not might add up. He got a discount of £23.
Yeah, as if that made a big difference.
He's so ungrateful.
He probably felt sorry for me, knowing that I had to pay him £455 out of my own pocket.
So guys, we do have some big news. We're not announcing anything. Actually, we can't announce, but we will show you what car we are doing next. So next week we are going to be reviewing another car. I will drop the pictures in this video. I hope you like it. But other than that, we still have some big news. Me and I have got a meeting on Thursday, and all goes well, we're going to see some pretty cool cars.
Yeah.
We are going to see some really cool cars,
and hopefully we can actually get to review them.
Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed that video of the total cost of what Lylle has had to do to his car. Obviously he's not happy about having to pay all that money, but he's happy now that it's all working, all fixed.
Is what is at the end of the day, isn't it? Yeah. Sometimes you got to swallow the price of certain things. I suppose it comes with a BMW, innit? If you've got a BMW, if you don't want to pay the prices when something go wrong, don't get a BMW. Simple as that.
Yeah.
You know.
Anyway guys, drop a like, drop a comment, let me know if the audio is better for you. Subscribe,